Hi guys, it's Collin. This week we're making the new Economy Block Quilt Block from Parker on the Porch. So it is a quilt block that does not have quilting, and you can use it to make any number of things that you would like and do your own quilting. I did not make a sample today because I have this pillow I'm going to show you instead. So this is the Economy Block hot pad, but it'll show us right here. So this is something I made last year. To showcase some kind of crafting fabric. And I really like this. It stays on my sewing room chair. So this is one. So this is 4 economy blocks pieced together. So you can kind of see, and I used a fat quarter pack. So I varied my fabric a lot. And I had little pieces and, so this was one thing, right? So this just has their general shape of economy blocks. So we have the center, we have these kind of triangles here, and then we have these triangles on the outer ridge. So just kind of picture this right here as one. This is 4 pieced together. So today, what we need is we need tearaway stabilizer inner hoop, and we need a center. So I fussy cut this cute little bee fabric here. And then we'll need our kind of inner triangles, if you will, and then our outer triangles, if that makes any sense. These are half square triangles. Every pattern comes with a cut chart, so you can use the measurements in there. I'm making the true 8x8 size today for the video. I believe that's what's in this as well. But that, again, that's something I made last year. So what we will do to start is we'll stitch our placement lines, which I have already done. So next is we will piece our first thing here. So I measured my square, it's 4 inches. So I cut my fabric 4.5 by 4.5. I don't like to trim in the hoop whenever possible. So my math on half square triangles is not very good. So I'll have to trim these because I didn't want to cut them too small. So I cut them too big. But whenever possible, I prefer not to trim in the hoop. So I'm going to take a look here and make sure I like the placement of my bees here, and I do. And so we're going to go to the hoop and we're going to stitch down this first rectangle here, and then we'll come back and keep on going. All right, so I think I may have called this a rectangle. My apologies. This is clearly a square. So I have tacked down my center square here. So now we're going to piece together these triangles. So we're going to start here on this side. I'm going to use, so this one's going to be a bit less busy. I think I'm actually going to make another pillow cover. I'm going to quilt it myself, but I think I'm going to do the same pattern of I'm going to have 2 of the same here and then 2 of the same here. And so, but I'm using a bit more, I'm using fewer fabrics because I just want something a little bit more subdued. And it's so hot here that I'm thinking fall. So I think this is just a cute little fabric that's going to be great for fall. So our first step is we're going to line up our triangles here. So you want at least a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now, one thing that you can do, depending on how you cut yours, is I kind of like to line up the points of my triangle here. I kind of wing it on my squares, right? So this is about, I think, like a 5 by 5 square that I cut diagonally. So, but I rough cut it. It's not perfect because I cut it big enough that I knew it wouldn't have to be perfect. If your square is only just big enough, then you want these points to line up. Okay. So mine is a little bit more flexible because I cut it larger, and so I have plenty of space. But if you cut yours, the bare minimum, make sure your points line up right here. Otherwise, you're going to run into a problem when we flip it over. So like many other quilt blocks, this is a stitch and flip. So I have placed my first piece. We're going to go to the machine. We're going to stitch, and then we'll come back and flip. We have stitched down our piece. So you can go ahead and get your tape ready if you'd like to tape it. I typically don't tape these. What I'll do is I'll pre-cut all my pieces like I have here, and then I'll stand right in front of the machine and just do one at a time, bang, 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 all the way around. So that's a little bit more efficient. For the video, of course, I do things a little bit differently. So, but what you want to do is you want to finger press right here. And then if you don't want to play roulette with your fingers today, go ahead and place a piece of tape outside of the seam allowance. We're going to stitch down this triangle right here. So you can see where my pieces were plenty larger than they needed to be. I do that because then they're not too small. So, but you can use the cut chart. So let's go. We're going to tack this down, and then we will stitch this one too, and then we'll come back. I did 2 steps. I stitched down this one right here, and then I tacked down this one. So we did the same thing where we're going to, we stitched, and then we're going to flip, and we're going to stitch again. I'm just going to reuse this piece of tape because you don't want to reuse tape on the back of your hoop because you really need it to be sticky. This is not as important. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse this piece of tape because it's convenient. I'm going to stick it right there. Okay. We're going to stitch this down, and then we're going to tack down this bottom one, and we're going to stitch and flip, stitch, flip. Right. So I placed this one here. And then the more I think about it, the more I think, let's trim our seam allowance first. So I can trim this now after I've sewn it, but I think it might be a little bit easier if we trim it before we do that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this to about 1/4 of an inch. Now, if you cut your rectangles exactly the right size, then you won't need to trim it. Like I said, I just kind of wing it on these, and I cut them too big because I knew I could just trim them. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to trim this right here. And you don't have to do this. I can definitely trim that lower one after I've already sewn it. I think this might be a little bit easier. So we will do some science here and see. So now let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to trim this down. Yeah, actually it turned out fine. All right. So maybe it doesn't matter when you trim. I wouldn't say this was any harder. Well, now we know for sure because we did some science. So I'm going to keep trimming here to about 1/4 inch. I'm using a lighter fabric on top of this darker one. So I don't like to see my seam allowances through. So I trim them pretty short, and then I make sure I cover over the darker seam allowance with the lighter fabric. So we're going to do the same thing. This got a little wrinkly. I'm going to give it a quick press. Keep my iron right by my cutting table. We're going to put it right sides together. We're going to stitch, flip, stitch. So I've tacked my last inner, if you will, triangle down here. So let's just trim this. And then we will place our outer half square triangles. And then we will be mostly done. So this is a quick, easy pattern. I love this one. We are going to start here, right? So we're going to do the same thing we did. I like to place, I'm going to trim this a little bit more. So I like to cover my entire, when I'm using a lighter fabric on top of a darker fabric, I cover my entire darker seam allowance with the fabric because I feel like then when I flip it over, what I see is the seam allowance of my lighter fabric. And I don't see this jagged edge. I don't see any threads. I don't see any of that. So that is my method. This is my video, so you're seeing my method. But whatever your method is, totally fine. Just do that. So see how I'm going to cover that whole thing right there? And then we're going to stitch and flip, and then we'll come back. Right, so we've done our first outer triangle. And if you look closely, you can see, now I didn't get it perfectly straight, right? So if you look really closely, you'll see I slanted it a little bit. But what you see is just that line right there. We don't see any of those jagged marks or lines from where I cut the green poorly. So that's just something that I like. You can do whatever you like. Next, we're going to do the same thing over here, and then we're going to do the same thing on these other two sides as well. So I'm going to keep this video a little bit shorter. Most of them get super long. This one's going to be a little shorter. So I'm going to show you here that we're going to stitch, stitch, flip, and stitch, just like we have. We're going to do that for the last two triangles, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do once you're finished. All right, we have completed our project in the hoop. This is super cute. I really like my fabric choices. I think on my next one, I'm going to do two different kinds. I'm going to do the bees in the middle again, right? And then I'm going to do this darker one and this lighter one. So they kind of coordinate. I don't know. I'm going to see. It might be too matchy-matchy. I might throw in a different fabric from the line to break up some of the matchy-matchy. We'll see. I'll have to think about it. But for now, so we'll take our project out of the hoop. All right. So this is what we have now. I haven't done anything else to it. What I like to do is I will tear out my stabilizer, but only to the outer seam here. And you can take it all the way out if you want to. I will tell you, I leave it in because I think it keeps my block from shifting a little bit. Now, these are woven fabrics, so they're not stretchy like knit fabrics are, and they don't shift a whole lot, but it keeps it from shifting just enough. So I'm not a superb quilt piecer. Okay, that's probably a nice way to put it. And so I need all the help I can get to keep my blocks straight when I'm sewing them together. Leaving the interfacing or the stabilizer, excuse me, in here initially helps me get my pieces straighter. So I do it. You don't have to. You can take it all out whenever you want. So I will take the tearaway stabilizer out once I have pieced my 4 blocks together, or however many. So I'm going to make a pillow because I don't really decorate a lot, but I do have throw pillows on my couch and I make seasonal covers for them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make 4 of these. I'm going to piece them together. Then I'll take out my stabilizer. Then I'll do my quilting. So I'll put it on my batting and I'll do all that. For now, all we need to do, excuse my reach, is to trim our quilt block. I like to sew my pieces together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That is my preference. Because that is my preference, I'm going to cut my seam allowance here to 1/4 inch. If you like to use a 5/8 inch seam allowance, then cut your pieces to that. Make sure you have enough here. So when you're cutting your half square triangles, make sure you have enough to account for your preferred seam allowance. If you want an inch seam allowance, you're going to need more fabric than I do. Just make sure you cut your triangles big enough. So for now, we're just going to trim here. And you can, if you don't have a rotary cutter, no big deal. Use your scissors and cut as straight as you can. Okay, I'm not even super straight with this thing. So just do your best. No one will know. I use the lines to sew them together anyway. So you know what? I messed it up a little bit. Look at that. So I got a little bit more right here. All right. So here we go. Here is our completed quilt block. This is the true 8x8. And then once again, you can piece them together to look like this. So this is the Parker on the Porch Economy Block Quilt Block. Super easy. This would take 5 minutes to make. It takes longer to cut your fabric probably than it takes to make this. You can make 10 in one sitting, easy peasy. You can make a whole quilt. So thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see what you make.